Welcome to this video. Let's talk about TypeScript in combination with Angular. As I already said, Angular uses TypeScript by default for developing those single-page applications. TypeScript is transpiled to JavaScript to be interpretable by browsers. Browsers by default run a JavaScript engine, so they can interpret JavaScript language by default. JavaScript itself is a dynamically typed language. It checks the variable types at the runtime. TypeScript, on the other hand, is a superset of JavaScript for design time support for type safety and tooling. Just like C# file extensions, which are CS, TypeScript file extensions are TS. TypeScript is created by Microsoft. The syntax has many similarities to C#, which is good for you, right? And this is a TypeScript class, for example. So you can see just in C#, we also here got the class keyword, for example, the class name and the curly braces. So just as in C#, you can see the class keyword here, the class name and the curly braces. To make a class accessible from the outside of this file, we should export it. So in C# you would use something like public, you would use those access modifiers. If we want to here make use of that class, we will have to export it. That's why we use export here. And always be aware that TypeScript is a case-sensitive language, so as in C#, keywords are written in lowercase. For sure, you can also define a field in a class, just as in C#. Here we can see a field called title of type string. Notice that we first got the name of the field, which is title, and then the type value, and then the type of that field is assigned after the column that we got right here. So this is the name, and it is of type string. You can also set a default value for the field and change it as it's needed, right? Just as in C#, here we got a default value now, which is a string for sure. And TypeScript automatically infers the field type when you initialize the field with a default value. So TypeScript can see that now the title is a string, so we don't have to define the type manually if you don't like to do that. So we can skip defining the types explicitly to make the code easier to read. So let's skip defining the type here. And based on the default value, it infers that the type of this field is string, because we're using a single quote right here. If you would like to create an array, you would follow exactly the same pattern as in C#. You have that default array braces and items are comma separated inside there. One thing to mention is in comparison to C#, you don't have to define or predefine the length of the array. So here we can simply add and remove elements, right? At C# you have to say, okay, I want to create an array with like 10 or 15 elements. But here it's exactly the same rule. Since the type is inferable from the initial value, we can also here omit the type definition. So we can here also say items is an array instead of like here saying it's a string array, right? It automatically get inferred. So TypeScript can see that this is an array of type string. Okay, let's stop here. Let's make a short break. And in the next video, we continue talking about some more advanced TypeScript, such as classes and some more stuff.